Okay, we're going to ease our way out of here across this dip in front of us. Somebody's put some rocks out. Maybe I can hit the rocks and hit less of the dip. Dip, right down in the dip. So we're just going to ease on out of here. And we're only like 2 miles from the visitor center for Sunset Crater. That's where we're heading. Today is Sunday, April 26th. The outside temperature is 45 degrees according to Henry. And, oh, that van is back with that RV again. I guess they're camped together. They seem awfully close to each other to not be camped together. That RV has been there, it was here when I got here, and I've been here for 5 nights. And I've seen that burgundy van on a couple of different days. And one day the motorhome left, and Kit and I walked up there. I thought about moving up there, and I decided, nah, I'm too lazy to move. So we just stayed where we were.
Fire Road 545, Loop Road.
And we'll be going back out to US 89
Turn left
later.
Fire Road 545, Loop Road.
Because we're going to end up today in the Grand Canyon. Pretty excited about that. There's not supposed to be any precipitation today, by the way. There was supposed to be precipitation last night. And since I knew I was leaving today, I went ahead and brought the slide in before we went to bed, which was good because it started raining like right after I did that. All right, let's see. 2 miles to the Sunset Crater Visitor Center, 21 miles to the Wupatki Visitor Center. We're going to hit both of those. Oh, we got a little signboard here. Let's just take a look.
Exit the parking lot toward Fire Road 545, Loop Road.
I guess this is for the people that aren't coming in when the, whoops, 3? What's the third one? Wupatki, Sunset Crater Volcano, and Walnut Canyon. We won't be seeing Walnut Canyon for a few more days, but we will be seeing Walnut Canyon. I didn't realize that was part of this
Turn
whole
right
system.
On Fire Road 5.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
45, Loop Road.
And I've been to Walnut Canyon one time previously. I've been to Sunset Crater one time previously. I don't recall having been to the visitor center here. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. And I think I actually bought my passport, my National Park Service passport book at Walnut Canyon. I might have to go back and look and see if that's true. But I think it is. I think that's where I bought it. And I have had to buy additional pages for my passport book because I've been to so many different national park sites, which I think is very, very cool. Anyway, yeah, I brought my slide in and I did it. It was cold, which is the other reason to bring my slide in, because I got less airspace to heat. So when it's super hot or super cold, I will often bring my slide in. Yeah, this was not supposed to be hailing today, but I guess that's what we're getting. And fortunately, most of what we're doing today is driving. There are some short hikes. We'll see how that goes, but we are at least going to do the whole driving loop. And then we'll head up to the Grand Canyon. So straight ahead of us it says it's a geological infant. And by the way, guys, that's very true of much of what's in the west. Elevation 8,039 feet. Where we are right now. think we were at about 7,200 feet, but I could be wrong. No, we're just under 6,000. Under 7,000, I mean 69,050-ish. Interesting. Well, now we know. I think we're going to try and do the trails. It'll just be chilly. At 45 degrees, I might have to get my gloves out, though. We only did a short walk this morning. Oh. Yeah, so it said Bonita Campground was closed when I looked on rec.gov. Well, it didn't say it was closed, it said it was not reservable. So I'm guessing it's closed.
At the next stop sign, turn right into the parking lot.
Yeah, that's closed. No off-trail hiking, obey posted speed limit.
At the stop sign, turn right into the parking lot. Then your destination will be on the right.
Walnut Canyon is not directly related to either of these. It's just that they're managed by the same groups. So, we're going to pull up here.
Your destination is on the right.
And we are going to go in and watch the park film. And then we'll come back and get busy checking out the loop road. A nice little visitor center. They've got a movie 20 minutes long on a loop. Talks about the crater. I actually had a little bit of difficulty following it because people kept walking up to Kit and me. And that was a little bit of a surprise. So, as I understand it, basically we're going out here about 1.5 miles. And there's a parking lot, and that's where all the trails are starting from. We're going to look at the trail map a little more carefully once we get there. Campground looks pretty nice. Even with the driving around in Flagstaff and coming out to camp, we're only 24 miles into this tank of gas. So that's pretty satisfying, actually. I can see a bunch of lava fields off to the left. You can see all the cinders to your right here. The Lennox Trailhead in lava is in 1/2 mile. I think I have to, ooh, a lot of lava fields. Reminds me of Lassen. I would like to do at least one trail, but it's not even 50 degrees out, so we'll see. There's RV parking here. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Well, unlike my Osmo Pocket 3, the Nano is supposed to be waterproof. So that's what we're using today. And we're out here at Sunset Crater. We're going to do at least one trail. This is Bonita Vista. Oh, that's not very long. It's paved. I guess we'll start here and then go the other way. So yeah, it's raining. This is April 26th, so I guess we're getting April showers. And it's super windy. Wind gusts are up to 50 miles an hour today. Kit has a sweater on for the first time in probably months because it's chilly. But we're here. Alright, this might be ridiculous. We're going to go out to the vista point here. Oh, look at all the snow that's coming up on the mountains. I'll show you when we get out there. Yeah, we're not going to do the rest of these trails. That's the Lennox Crater Trail that way. I think that's the longest one. And I wanted to do it, but see the snow up on top of the mountains? All right, we're done. I don't want to be wet, cold and miserable. There's going to be plenty to see just driving here. So we're going to do the driving loop. And this is only a couple of miles off of US 89. So we're going up to the Grand Canyon today. And we have to come back down this road, I'm pretty sure, on Tuesday on US 89. And so if the weather's nice, maybe we come back on Tuesday and do the hikes. We'll just do the driving loop today. Well, this is where all of the trails for Sunset Crater originate from. And I just can't do it. Is this car actually parked here? Would he park there instead of taking the parking place? Crazy. Anyway, we tried doing the Bonita View Trail, got most of the way down it. The wind is super, super strong, and it's cold. Henry thinks we're up to 57 degrees. I don't think so. I think he was facing in the sun while we were parked there. I put Kit's heavy sweater / light jacket on, and I'm leaving it on him because we both got a little chilly. So we decided we're not going to do the hikes here. So we're going to see what the Pueblo trails look like. They're all short. The Pueblo trails are all much shorter than the trails for the crater, and they're like 15, 18 miles in. But look at the cinder cone here. That's a lot of cinders, guys. So we'll try doing the Pueblo trails because it'll be inconvenient to come back for those. And I think the first one is before we get to the visitor center even. It's already 12:36 in the afternoon. Okay, look at this landscape. Just look at it. That's a lot of cinder. Now, apparently, the cinder covered... Oh, and it's still falling because that was a cinder rock in the middle of the road. The cinder covered an area over 800 square miles. They showed it on the map. It was pretty impressive looking on the video when I was watching the video. So I have a feeling that what's going to happen, because it's supposed to be super windy all day long, we're going to get up to Canyon mid-late afternoon, and then just hunker down tonight. Tomorrow is supposed to be a better day. And what I'm hoping for is that our site at the Grand Canyon is nice and level, and I can just pull in. I don't think I'll even put the slide out. And then that way we can just take off in the morning and go start exploring. My original thought when I made the reservation, and it was supposed to be much warmer, was that I'd get the trike off and we go ride around Grand Canyon, but that's not going to be happening. Not with the predicted temperatures. We left Sunset Crater National Monument a mile or so back, and we were still just in the woods, but now we're all back into the Cinder overflow, which is pretty cool. We've been steadily descending. Oh, it looks like we're about to start back up again a little bit. Let's see if I can get my altimeter back out. $66.50. So we have come down a couple hundred feet. No idea what's down there, but it's kind of cool looking. Pretty clouds. Yeah, 50 degrees, according to Henry now. Volcanic soil is pretty fertile, I think, if I'm recalling correctly. Or I could be completely wrong. It's pretty looking though. Relationship between the Wupatki Pueblos and Sunset Crater is that there had been people occupying pit houses near Sunset Crater until it erupted. Look at that vista way out there in the distance. Can you see it unrolling off to the horizon? That's pretty spectacular. Oh, I do recall reading that you could see the Painted Desert from here. We'll be in the Painted Desert within a week. Probably Thursday or Friday, I'm imagining. Wow. That's quite spectacular. Too bad they didn't give you any warning for that overlook. Arizona gets a lot of love from the national park system between the Grand Canyon and Wupatki, Sunset Crater Volcano, Walnut Canyon, Painted Desert, what's the other one? Petrified Forest. Kind of all along the I-40 corridor, pretty close to each other. Yeah, there's another view of the painted desert out there. Hopefully it won't be ridiculously hot by the time we get there, so I'll feel like doing some hiking. I'm not much on weather extremes. If it's too hot or too cold, I don't really want to do it. Too cold and windy today. And it's almost like the cold would have been okay, the wind would have been okay, the combination not okay. But the drive is certainly beautiful, don't you think? There's another view of the painted desert way out there. And I'm admiring the way the sunlight is lighting up the terrain here. Hoping the rocks stand out even more. Very pretty. And there is nobody on this road as far as I can see in either direction. It's funny, the people that were parked poorly in the road at the trailhead when we were leaving ended up behind me in a section where I was going pretty slowly. But I think they pulled off at the painted desert overlook. Oh, I think I can see them way back there now. And we left the Coconino National Forest behind. I think this is private land that we're driving through now. Scenic Vista, 1/4 mile. Let's see if we can actually look at that one. Oh, look at this. Just coming around the corner. That's pretty cool, huh? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Is this our vista right here? Might be. That's pretty fantastic. Wow. Okay, and now the road narrows. Awesome sauce. If these are Pueblo remains off to our left. Well, it looks like they might be. It looks pretty orderly. Rather than just being naturally forming rock, but I could be completely wrong. What do you think, Kit? Okay, so Henry now thinks we're up to 64 degrees. In which case doing the Pueblo hikes shouldn't be too horrible. I think we're going to be into the Wupatki National Monument before too terribly long here. Oh, I guess that is just slabs of rock, maybe. Cool looking. Is this the sign? Here's your sign. Welcome to Wupatki. And my goal is always to see as many of the national park sites as we can, whether it's national monuments or historic sites or national parks or whatever. For one thing, our federal government has spent a lot of money to protect this stuff, so I kind of feel an obligation to check it out. And it always helps to inform a purpose in my travels. Although the purpose of this travel season, as you well know, is Route 66 and the Lewis and Clark expedition. Which I'm having a really good time with so far, and it's only been a few days. I hope you're enjoying it too. Removal or disturbance of any natural or cultural feature is prohibited. So don't take stuff, guys. Wukoki Pueblo is down here to the right. Doesn't say anything about oversized vehicles, so I'm going to assume we're okay. I love this kind of landscape with the broken up red rocks. So pretty. Reminds me of Utah, Zion, all of that stuff. Down this road we have to go, but it's okay, we got time. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it stays light until 7, and I know where I'm sleeping tonight. I think when we come out of the National Monuments here and back on 89, we've got about an hour and 15 minutes or so to get up to the campground. So we got plenty of time for exploring today, don't you think? I was thinking this morning that, you know, Henry's almost, well, he's over 9 years old now. His birthday was in January of 2017. It's kind of an interesting looking road. Black Falls Road. Huh. Well, I didn't see anything on the map about Black Falls. See the Pueblo? It's ruins! In 2024, when I was camping with Donna, well, that summer season, we saw a lot of ruins, a lot of Pueblo ruins. Yeah, it looks like we're on a short little hike to get down there. That'll be perfect. We can do that no matter how cold and windy it is. 66 degrees, it's not that cold anymore. If somebody's walking on there, I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not. I'm not one to throw it. I'm not sure that's what they have in mind. Looks like oversized parking is going to be right here. It's kind of amazing how much difference a few miles makes. It is at least 15 and maybe 20 degrees warmer here at Wupatki. Look at the pretty flowers. Isn't that pretty? Look at the pretty Pueblo. So we're going to go take a look. Yeah, this is just windy. It's not miserable. Kit, come on up here. Yeah, come up. There we go. High above the plain, meticulous corners and lines of masonry rise up from the bedrock to a height of 3 stories. The architecture blends so well with the environment that the building appears to grow out of the rock. Then and now, location and visibility set Wukoki apart. Okay. Let's go take a look. Good boy. Wow. Pretty interesting looking landscape, huh? Oh, I guess you are supposed to go up in it. It's got stairs. Please stay off walls. Do not pick up pottery. Okay, so maybe we get to see some pottery. We're going to be walking into the wind going back. Are you enjoying yourself, Kit? Are you enjoying yourself? So I took off my pants and put shorts back on. And look at these pretty flowers. That's pretty nice, huh? And that was a marginal decision. I'd be warmer with pants on, but I'm more comfortable in shorts. Shaped by time. In the high desert environment of Wupatki, clues to geologic history lie exposed on the landscape. It may be dry today, but the rocks reveal wet landscapes from the past. Erosion shapes rocks, even those used in Pueblo construction. Wind and water erosion sculpt and smooth the edges of sandstone formations. All right, let's go take a look. No entry. Foundation of stone. I guess this is a representation of what it originally looked like. And you can see that pretty clearly here. So this was a farming community. Wait. Stay with me. He's trying to run up the steps ahead of me. There we go. Good job, Kit. And do we think that these steps are how they originally accessed the Pueblo? Wait. The wind is a little disconcerting.
Windy, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. Disconcerting as in, I don't want to get blown off of here. Wow. Okay, there is also a trail that goes down below. I'm not walking up to the edge, guys, sorry. I had enough trouble just getting up here. Yeah, it's quite the gale. And if you know me at all, you know how I feel about heights. And when I say quite the gale, I mean that literally, because the predicted winds today qualify for gale force, which I think was like, I think that was up to 50 miles an hour or 55 miles an hour. Can't remember for sure. But yeah, that's what we got. So, we're going to come back down here, go down around the bottom on this trail. Even with the microphone, I'm not sure you'll be able to hear me. Wow. So this is still part of the Pueblo, the rock that it was built on. Look at that. Just look at it. Please stay on trail. I like all their signs, how they're all carved out. That's pretty cool. So basically we're walking around the Pueblo. And I'm going to turn around and go back the other way because getting blown off the rock is actually a fairly real thing today. Well, it was a fun little walk. Super windy. Literally gale force winds today, guys. Enough that I didn't want to hang around on top of the open part of the Pueblo for very long because I was afraid it was going to get blown off. And of course getting back up was more difficult than getting down there from the parking lot because I was walking into the wind on the way back. This is the kind of wind where driving a high-profile vehicle is not recommended. Hope people aren't trying to go too fast on 89. They're going to have a lot of difficulty with me going slow if they are. But we don't have to worry about that yet. Our next stop is going to be at the Visitor Center. Between 1100 and 1200, more people lived in this area than ever before, or since. Located along routes linking large populations to the northeast and the south, villages here were well situated for trade. As people, goods, and ideas converged on the area, a complex society of several thousand evolved. This particular village became the heart of a thriving community and was a landmark, a gathering place, and a ceremonial center. It is remarkable that this land, so dry and hot, supported a large farming community. Moisture-conserving cinders from the eruption of nearby Sunset Crater Volcano made for slightly better farming conditions during the 1100s, but extensive land and labor would have been required. This monumental structure may have signaled control over farmlands and united a community that undoubtedly changed as it grew and accepted immigrants. Historical accounts of Pueblo life and archaeological evidence are the basis for this depiction of life here, 900 years ago. It is an embellished interpretation through modern eyes, but helps us visualize the vibrant society that was Wupatki. Hopi and Zuni oral histories say that this was a place where people of diverse origins came together. Varying influences are apparent. The plain red-brown powdery came from the area near modern-day Flagstaff, while the painted black and white pots came from Kayenta country to the northeast. The architecture is both Chacoan and Kayenta in style, and the ball court and abundant shell jewelry indicate ties to the far south. Through trade, villagers acquired numerous Mesoamerican scarlet macaws and copper bells needed for ceremonies and rituals. In return, perhaps they offered their expertly woven cotton textiles. Weavers may have immigrated from different places as their styles and decorative techniques reflect those from various southwest areas. The location, height, and size, 100 rooms of this village, along with its public spaces, a ceremonial ball court, which we'll see in a minute, a large plaza, and the community room suggests that it was not a typical household but rather an important meeting place. It had no equal in the region. Most people lived in numerous small dwellings for miles around. Those living here may have held ritual and leadership responsibilities. Descendants say prophecy and beliefs guided decisions and that villages like this were purposefully settled and left. When clans departed, doorways were sealed and items left in rooms. Maybe people hoped to return one day. The reasons for leaving were likely varied. By the 1200s, the area was denuded of trees and shrubs, and soil were depleted. As the environment changed, perhaps conflicts increased or trade networks shifted, and other villages had more to offer. Villagers shared walls, water, food, protection, and prayer. Like us, they depended on one another, celebrated life, and marked passages, planned for, reacted, and adapted to environmental and social circumstances. Cheers may have once echoed here during lively sporting events. Archaeologists believe a modified ball game passed north from Mayan regions to the Hohokam in southern Arizona was played within these masonry walls. Typical of other ball courts, it is set apart from the Pueblo, indicating it was a public area and not used in daily community routines. It may have also been used for special events, gatherings, and ceremonies. Hopi identified this structure as a Snake Clan dance plaza and cistern since it retains seasonal rains for short periods of time. Ball courts connected regional communities not only through competitive games, but also through the trade of everyday and prestige goods. From pottery and cotton to macaws, shell, turquoise, and copper, a market may have taken place here, held in conjunction with events. Interactions at the ball court likely encouraged the exchange of new ideas. This blowhole that we're about to see leads to miles of underground earth cracks. Groundwater has slowly dissolved limestone, creating long and narrow interconnected caverns and tunnels. 2 blowholes within this system connect across 24 miles. The direction of air currents from the blowhole is tied to regional weather. Complex interactions of air temperature and pressure and how they differ above and below the ground make it difficult to predict air currents' direction at any specific time. Archaeologists are unsure if the blowhole was active in the 1200s. It was first documented in the 1950s and is part of an ever-changing system. Blowholes are spiritually significant to many indigenous people and are known by different names. You can really feel the air above the blowhole, and you can tell if the earth is breathing in or out. But hold on to your hat. The air current has been clocked at more than 30 miles per hour, which is significantly less than the speed of the wind we're experiencing in much of today. We are finished here at the visitor center. I'm sure it's probably going to show up
on Wupatki Road. Then at the next stop sign,
before this section, but just in case, be prepared to do the walk down around the ruins at the visitor center. I was not prepared.
Turn left onto Loop Road.
So I filmed, but that's appearing before this section, if it shows up in this video, as voiceover because of the gale force winds. And we have 65 miles, an hour and 12 minutes to get to our campground. Our ETA is 3:25, which means closer to 4 o'clock, which is also fine. Looks like it might be raining over in that direction. How beautiful, huh? How beautiful. Look at that vista, guys. Wow. Let's see what's over the top of this little rise. See, that's the thing. It's what's around the next corner and the next corner and the next corner. That's what drives me. What drives you? We just passed the Citadel Pueblo, and part of what's interesting is looking at the way the landscape has changed. It's hard to tell the difference between the Pueblos and the rocks, which is really very cool. The Lomaki Pueblo is down here to the right, sitting up here on top of the hill. We're going to save some of these to examine when we come back another time, because one of the things I think is important is to always leave a reason to come back. We're only about 4 miles from US 89 now. still 55 miles from our campground. I am very impressed by this bicyclist. The wind is strong enough that I am keeping my steering wheel turned a quarter turn to the left, just to go straight. And although the speed limit is 50 to 65, I'm doing 55. I'm not in that much of a hurry. And to me, maintaining control is more important than getting there faster. Look at all the overcast skies up ahead of us, though. I do see a little bit of blue peeking through the clouds mid-field up ahead. So I'm glad that our solar recovered reasonably well today. I imagine we're probably pretty fully charged at this point, although I don't know that for sure. Arizona really is quite beautiful, don't you think? To say, this is one of the things that I really enjoy most about living in an RV. It's like, I'm hungry. Okay, stop and make a snack. So I've got an apple and some smoked Gouda that we're going to just snack on as we go down the road. So we're 10 miles from the Cameron trading post. Yeah, I don't need to stop there and eat out, because I'm actually looking forward to my dinner. Okay, so this is still in business. And even though this is a deviation from Route 66, it still has the Route 66 vibe to me of days gone by and forgotten places. The landscape's starting to change a little bit. Pretty cool. We're not going to go all the way up to Page. But we were in Page last summer with Barb. Remember that? This is Cameron, and we're going to be making a left as we go around this roundabout.
Exit the traffic circle onto Arizona 64 West.
Here we go now.
Continue on Arizona 64 West for 31 miles. At the stop sign, turn right onto Desert View Road. Then you'll turn left onto Watchtower Drive.
We're not going to need fuel until we get back to Flagstaff. No idea what's down to the right.
In 600 feet, turn right onto Desert View Campground.
No vehicles over 30 feet in length in the campground. Gas station. Campground. No wood gathering. Service road on the left. Lots of trees. Fortunately, they're not very tall. All right, there's site number 1.
You have arrived.
I think they might have names on them. It's okay, kid. And this is kind of like when I was camp hosting, where yep.
Excellent. How long?
2 nights.
2 nights.
Okay, well, Kent and I just had a very lengthy conversation. We are just down here on the left in numero 12. Look at this site. It's beautiful. Okay, I think I'm going to come around this way and make sure I can put my slide out if I want to. I didn't think either one of us was going to be back in a winter coat at this time of year. Today is April 26th. We are at the Grand Canyon and it is cold. It's like 42 degrees. Not quite 6 o'clock in the evening. And I guess I'm really glad I got Kid a new winter jacket because his other one didn't fit at all. This one actually seems to fit very well. So we're just taking a walk around the campground. He's taking a sniff around the campground because that's what he likes to do. And just like when I was camp hosting at Lewis Lake, every site says reserved, but a lot of them are still empty. I imagine most of them will probably fill up. What I was seeing at Lewis Lake all the time was that people weren't coming in until after dark, driving an RV for the first time. And I guess they really wanted to maximize their time at the park, and I get that. But me personally, I like to be in mid-late afternoon. And then I just get to chillax. And speaking of chill, the wind has been absolutely horrendous. Sorry, my nose is running. And it is supposed to be better tomorrow. Sorry, I had the phone like too close to me. It is supposed to be better tomorrow. I'm hoping we don't need a winter jacket. We shouldn't. And I think we may just stay parked and see if we can hike to the Desert View Watchtower from here. I think we can. I'm gonna look at the map and see what that really looks like. But here we go. All the way back around site number 1, site number 2. We're in site number 12. And my fingers are freezing. So I'm gonna say goodnight at this point.